Welcome everyone to Courier Prep Football Weekly. We now enter round number 2 of the playoffs alongside Erik Jacobsen. I'm Andy Rohr. And here in Courier Country we had 4 teams make it through round number 1, including the Bartlett Hawks. The Class 8A number 1 seed will take on Fremd on Friday night.
And we have 3 other games with playoff games with local interest. In Class 7A, St. Charles East travels to play at Cary-Grove on Saturday night. In Class 6A, Huntley will be on the road at Grant on Friday night. And last but not least, in Class 4A, Genoa-Kingston is at Richmond-Burton on Saturday afternoon. And we'll be breaking down all 4 local playoff games and also offering a prediction on each.
But first, let's take a look at that Bartlett-Fremd matchup.
The Bartlett Hawks have been enjoying a great season. A 10-0 record and a chance to get past round 2 for the first time ever. Standing in their way, an 8-2 Fremd team looking to take out the favorite Hawks.
Well, you got to give hands out that conference, Schaumburg and Barrington and themselves making the playoffs and doing well, playing good competition and beating them. They've won the conference several years in a row, so excellent program up there.
Bartlett's defense has been giving opposing teams fits all year long.
Oh, very tough. They have a very good running game. We got to come out, do our responsibilities, never back down. We just have to do what we have to do every week.
They've been quoted to say that they're going to come out and try to tire out the teams they face, and so that's a big challenge for us.
We did have 6 or 7 kids coming back that had considerable playing time last year, which helped a great deal. But our kids love to get after it.
All right, Erik, let's dive right into that Fremd-Bartlett matchup. Bartlett, a team that kind of had a narrow escape last week against Notre Dame. Meanwhile, Fremd coming off a big win over the rival Palatine. What do you see in this one?
Well, as you'd expect in the second week of the playoffs, it's going to get tougher and tougher. Every game is going to have that much more intensity as we move on throughout the postseason. And this game certainly is going to be one of the games to watch in the Chicagoland area this weekend. Bartlett definitely survived, dodged a bullet last week. I think Coach Meany was kind of thinking that it was almost a disaster for them, but they were able to overcome. And Fremd had a very nice win against Palatine, a Palatine team that the Vikings lost to earlier in the season. So that was a nice turnaround and kind of set the tone for a Vikings team that's made a traditional run in the playoffs, and they're a tough squad as always this season. You look at Fremd. They've had a couple games where they've won in shootouts this year. They've had a couple games where they've won defensive battles. So, as Coach Mike Donatucci said, they found ways to win. And that's critical. Meanwhile, Bartlett has found a way to win every game. They might not have the tough schedule that Fremd has in the Mid-Suburban League, but in West Division. But Bartlett certainly is undefeated, and they haven't played. It hasn't been all slouches or anything. Bartlett's had to beat a few good teams along the way. So I look at this as being a very close matchup. It's going to be a toss-up.
And I'm sure there's lots of interesting plot lines. Give me some players to watch in it.
Yeah, for Bartlett, there's some unquestioned leaders at quarterback. You got Josh Hassenberg, a senior, who's really lit it up this season and for the past few years, and then 3-year varsity linebacker Kyle Zielinski, who's just named the All Upstate 8 Conference Defensive Player of the Year this year, or MVP this week. He's a key. Over for Fremd, you got quarterback Mike Talkman. He's quarterback, a defensive back, a special teams star, stand out a kicker, a guy who really does it all. So kind of a jack of all trades. And then Mike Gaiate at running back is another player to watch for the Vikings.
All right, Erik. Does Bartlett keep their run going this week?
Well, every week I say it, and until somebody knocks them off, I'm going with Bartlett. The Hawks haven't lost, and this could definitely be the week because Fremd's very capable. But I like Bartlett here. I think that the last week game will kind of teach them a lesson. They'll come out hard-nosed this week, but certainly they got a lot to prepare for, and this is going to be a heck of a game. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. The next game on the docket comes from Class 7A. St. Charles East will travel to take on Cary-Grove. We went out to St. Charles East practice this week.
St. Charles East enters round 2 after surviving a scare last week against Lake Zurich.
It was a rough night, but the guys up front kept fighting. We never gave up. We kept coming at them and trying to find different ways to get the ball moved, and we finally got it in.
The Saints will now meet 10-0 Cary-Grove.
They're actually very similar to Lake Zurich. They run the exact same defense as Lake Zurich. They have a very similar offensive style Lake Zurich, so our preparation couldn't be any better.
Yeah, we're really excited. Cary-Grove, I think, is 10-0. It doesn't matter who they play. They're obviously going to be a good team.
East's O-line has stood tall for star running back Wes Allen.
Yeah, they do an amazing job so far this year. They always open up the holes, get their job done, and it's been a lot of fun because they have made my job a lot easier.